Tick tock, the clock is getting close to January 15th, and the Bitcoin price is getting volatile as can be. So what's going to happen in the next couple of days? Crash and burn, or pump and leave the FUD behind? We'll find out in about 10 minutes because it's time for Chico Crypto. So here it comes, the narrative, which now every other YouTuber will talk about to get the views, because it's going to be the talk of the town. January 15th, Tether implosion, the end is nigh. Well, luckily Chico Crypto is here to cover it far before it was mainstream news, and understand it far more than these chumps YouTube is promoting to over 100k views, suckering in the newbies to the worst people possible. Go leverage trade with my Bybit link, please. So let's do real, not fake as frick, cause I friggin' hate fake like Ricky from TPB. So what is real? Well, let's take a look at a real volume exchange within the United States that has been forced to play by the rules lately, and one that got involved with Tether during the first Tether bubble back in 2017. This is the Kraken exchange, and they added support for Tether in March of 2017, as seen from their blog post about it. Now from that date, March, through the bull run peak and into 2018, Kraken became a Tether hotbed. In October of 2018, CoinDesk covered it in an article titled, "Tether Floods into Kraken Exchange, where crypto traders can get dollars," and the article says, the exchange's wallet balance stands at nearly 47.8 million USDT at the time of writing, making it the number 8 most valuable wallet holding this asset, according to the Tether Rich List, which, using the Wayback Machine, the Internet Time Machine, to go back to October, that date, and the Rich List, we can confirm that yes, Kraken was number 8 on the Tether Rich List. Well, if you look at the Rich List today, they are not near the top. They have fallen, and fallen steeply, down to number 35. So the question is, what happened? Well, the manipulators couldn't continue to manipulate on Kraken as regulators started closing in, because Kraken is US based. So, just before Kraken reached number 8 on that Tether Rich List, Bloomberg dropped this article, "Crypto coin Tether defies logic on Kraken's market, raising red flags." And in the article, they analyzed Tether trading on the exchange. And at the end, they say the Tether trades he's reviewed on Kraken are unusual enough that if they were happening on a stock exchange, regulators would be investigating the trades. Weisberger said, "Is there manipulation? I don't know, but I know they'd be digging into it. Such mysteries are probably keeping big investors out of cryptocurrencies," he added. "Institutional investors, before they commit their capital, want to see the market is fair." So that was nipped in the bud. Regulators have come for the US-based exchanges. Kraken, they distanced themselves from Tether. They fell off the Rich List. And if you go to CoinGecko statistics on trading volume today, it's largely fiat currencies, with only a small sliver of it USDT. And then looking at the money flow of Kraken, dominated by the fiat, small slivers of Tether. Doesn't look like the money flow of Bitcoin, dominated by Tether and only small slivers of USD. So why am I showing this? Well, those involved with Kraken, they understand both sides of crypto. They've played with the unregulated side from 2011 to 2018, and then they were forced to play by the rules from 2019 to today. With the regulators' microscope above, they understand what's going on far more than you or I. So Dan Held, he's head of business development and growth for the Kraken exchange, and he recently put out a FUD-crushing video titled, "Worried About Bitcoin? Don't be." And in it, let's just hear what he had to say about Bitcoin manipulation and Tether.
Bitcoin is manipulated. This one's probably the number 2 biggest one I hear in terms of FUD, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay, banks globally have been fined $330 billion for manipulating the financial system. Equities, gold, FX, treasuries, literally every single one. You can go to this website and check out each bank and how much they were penalized and the number of times. Everything is manipulated to some extent, but that doesn't make the price any less real. It takes cost to push the market one way or another, and it's not a guaranteed success. But ultimately, that's the most free market version of the price that we have, and so yes, Bitcoin might have some of this going on.
His FUD crushing is that, yes, it is going on, but the reason it's okay is it happens in other markets. That 'tis the worst thing I have ever heard, and it sounds like some reply from a troll on Twitter. Yes, markets, they are manipulated, but that does not make it okay. Those banks, they were fined and punished for manipulating markets. You showed the punishments were into the billions upon billions of dollars. And for some manipulation, like HSBC and money laundering in 2012, we can see from the DOJ's release, HSBC had to replace almost all of its senior management. They clawed back deferred compensation bonuses given to its most senior AML and compliance officers, and agreed to partially defer bonus compensation for its most senior executives. Also, they had to make significant changes in its management structure and AML compliance functions that increased the accountability of its most senior executives for AML compliance failures. A major restructuring for doing wrong. So don't think for 1 second penalties and restructuring couldn't be coming down the road to major crypto companies. And in my opinion, they are coming this year, but we are in the stage of the last hurrah, the last Tether hurrah, before it all comes crashing down. So I want to go back to that Bloomberg article on the Tether manipulation on the Kraken exchange back in 2018. They were actually talking to someone regarding this and getting the information and data from. As we can see, none other than Andrew Rennhack. And ain't that a coinkadinky, as we just covered Rennhack and his thoughts on the Tether situation just last week. So Rennhack, he has been on the ball for this obviously for a long time. So what is Rennhack saying today? Well, he put out this tweet January 10th. People seem to think my 5K price target is ridiculous. I know Bitcoiners love math, so let me explain by looking at prior bubbles. 2013 bubble, 1200 to 200, minus 85%. 2017 bubble, 20K to 3.2K, minus 85%. 2021 bubble, 42K to 6.3K equals negative 85%. But yeah, I'm sure this time is different. He then continued, I don't know if it's over or not, but it's either over or getting close to being over. It's up 13 times from the bottom. It either goes to 60K and pops or crashes from here, in my opinion. 50% upside with 90% downside is not favorable odds to go long. So, Rennhack has a feeling it's about to be over. So what are my personal feelings? Are my views aligned with Rennhack's? Well, I'm eyeing the charts on January 15th like a hawk. The AG's next position against Tether is most likely to be revealed. And I understand, like Rennhack, that this run isn't built on institutional involvement. Some is, but it's mostly built on Tether USDT. But I don't think it's close to being over. I think we may be going to 60K because the talking heads at Tether are pushing the narrative that there is natural demand for these tokens. January 3rd, a Santiago Capital on Twitter tweeted, if anyone anywhere has redeemed USDT for USD and can show proof of this transaction, I would be happy to compensate you for your time and effort. Thanks. Of which Ryan Salam replied with proof. Who is Ryan? Well, from his Twitter profile, he is head of OTC at Alameda Research, aka FTX with Sam Bankman-Fried. So yeah, it was proof though that Tether was created and demanded. Wait, not so far, as yes, it was proof of a mint, but not proof of USDT to USD, which you can see from the replies on Twitter as Salam got trashed. Moving USDT does not prove anything, bro. Can you show anything real cash related? Wire transfer bank statement, which proves you really wired Tether cash, and more importantly, got cash back after sending USDT. Well, no, he couldn't. He didn't reply. Then Francis Coppola tweets, so you haven't actually redeemed USDT for USD at all, have you? Why are you giving people the misleading impression that you have? And at the bottom, David explains what the transaction is. You're sending to Bitfinex, not to Tether with a link to the redemption. That is clearly a Bitfinex exchange account that handles lots of non-Tether business. A talking head didn't prove jack crap. He just fueled the narrative even more that there is no transparency. Even with the big OTC desks who should be involved with Tether daily, they cannot provide a single lick of proof of USD redemptions. But the fact that they have these talking heads putting out this misleading information makes me think they are going to mislead the markets even more. Just like Bitfinex CTO said, it's business as usual after January 15th. Cheers. I'll see you next time.